So in this video we're going to refactor to interfaces. So in this video I'm going to refactor the code, which we've currently got two hacky implementations in each class. I'm going to turn this into an interface, then create two implementations of each interface. So I'm going to have a Google search interface and a Google search results interface. So let's refactor and extract an interface from Google search. I'm going to call it Google search I to start with. Let's have all these members in there. Refactor. New Google search. So this is going to be Google search I. I'm going to rename this Google search. Go search via URL. Now I'm going to copy and paste this because I left all the code in there. So this is a completely hacky way of doing this. Google search via click, type. Call it click and type. Right. So Google search via URL is using the code that's there. So let's get rid of the comments. Google search via click and type needs those comments. What it doesn't need is the extra code. So I'm just thinking that this has a slightly different constructor each time, but I'm going to ignore that for the moment. Let's get these back in. Okay, so we can expect that to be like that. So that's just going to say Google search results. Okay, Google search by URL, fine. So this is the one that's currently broken because it doesn't have a Google search results by click and type. So let me see Google search results. What did I comment out in here? Okay, different waiting strategy, clicking. So I need a different one of these. So I'm going to say Google search results. Let's extract an interface for this. I'll just call it Google search results I for the moment. Now this is used in the test as well. So I'm going to have to add those in. In fact, yeah, I'm not going to rename that stuff. I'll handle all this manually. Right, so I've got two interfaces, Google search results, Google search results I. Got two implementations of Google search. This one, because we've only currently got one implementation of Google search results. So Google search results is still set up for URL. So let me Google search results via URL. Implements Google search results, that's correct. So all I'll do in this one is get rid of the stuff that was comments. Now we're going to have common code between these two, so I might want to refactor that out or stick that in an abstract method somewhere. Google search results via click and type. So what this needs is, so this is the one that's going to be Google search results via click and type. So let's refactor this. I'm going to handle all that myself. There's only a couple of classes, so this should be fairly easy to keep it matched. So click and type doesn't need to know this. Click and type does need this. So now, let's have Google search via URL use the Google search results via URL. This is going to be returning a Google search results. Change the type of the variable or the field in there. Google search results Google search results Okay, so I think I hadn't done anything wrong. Okay, so that was just the IDE taking time to catch up with me. So let's double check that each of these Google search results, so Google search via URL should be doing its thing and using Google search results via URL. Google search, I click and type. Google search via click and type. So in the test now, I should be able to say Google search and Google search via URL, and this should work, and this should use the URL approach. And if I do this, Google search results via click and type, and run the test, it should run. So I'm just going to do a quick check and see whether the using URL alone is faster. So let's see how long click and type takes. Remember, one reason for doing this is that it now allows us to add new implementations. So I could add an implementation that uses the official Google API. I can add an implementation that uses an HTTP library instead of WebDriver. And each time I do that, hopefully the changes to the actual test are minimal or non-existent. So I'm going to let the actual test stop, and I'm just going to use the how long did this test take. So that was click and type took 49 seconds, 514 milliseconds. Now let's run the same test with the via URL. I'm just interested in seeing whether this is in any way faster. I'm expecting it to be a little bit faster, but we'll see. Now it's also possible that I don't need all the synchronization on the URL one. I haven't tried that. .45 seconds, 710 milliseconds. So not that much faster, to be honest. I'm just going to try one thing in the results via URL synchronization and see whether we actually need this, because I haven't checked. So I'm expecting this to fail, to be honest. But let's see. It may be that the normal WebDriver page load synchronization is enough. It looks like it is. The normal WebDriver wait till this page loads synchronization seems good enough. It hasn't thrown an error yet. My URL no sync 44 seconds 331 milliseconds. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that in there. We don't have any synchronization, but that's fine. Now what I do have, if I do Google search results via URL, Google search results via click and type, and compare those, so I have this big chunk of identical code in here. this return URLs. So at some point I might want to refactor this and pull this out into another class and have just a return URLs method that we can call in both places. Because this is never going to change. If this changes in one, it changes in the other. Right, so I'm just going to do that now. I'm going to call it WebDriver Google search results extractor dot get return URLs for this driver. I'm just going to make this a static method on this class. So let's create this class. Let's create this method. Now I don't normally like static methods and static classes, but that seems like it'll work for the moment. I could instantiate it up here, I could cache it in here, but I'm just going to do this. Now I was just looking to see if the weight is used in multiple places. It is, so I'm still going to leave that up here. So then in this Google search, if I click and type, sorry, not that one. So I'm going to put the same code in here. There we go. But this doesn't look like it's using the weight, so let's not instantiate that. Time to just comment that out as well. Not call it here. So this, in this one, is just there for the external interface. Okay, so that's a little bit cleaner. Let me go back, run the tests again, make sure I haven't messed anything up. I'm just going to run them for the small test, make sure they work. And then that's pretty much us. I've now got 2 implementations, so now I can concentrate on an implementation that uses the official approach and see whether I can do that. Oh, Google have gone, what are you doing? How did that even pass? Okay, so it worked, but it found no match. Okay, thank you very much, Google. Again, this is another reason why we should really not be doing this approach. We should be using the API. But now that we've refactored this in interfaces and different implementations, we can now start moving our code over to not use the GUI in any way and just use the underlying API. Let's use google.com. Oh, it's still using google.co.uk, that's fine. And let's try it on here. So that was with the direct URL, so it didn't redirect on that basis. Let's see if it redirects and click. Okay, so everything essentially still works. We haven't broken anything. We've refactored to interfaces, so now the interfaces for Google Search and Google Search Results have 2 implementations. One that uses the click and type, and one that uses the URL. Now I have to decide, am I going to go ahead and try the HTTP library, or am I going to go ahead and try the official Google API? So you'll find out next video. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you see how this progresses and you never miss a video of what we do for our automated madness or what we do to test anything. Subscribe.